October, mate, after the end of the season, come along, but it's a tough one, it really is. Melbourne deciding just to make a change for change's sake, and that's a huge cost when you lose a man of Barmy's qualities.
Well, I wonder what the man who was to be his opposing coach tonight, Robert Walls, thinks about the sacking.
I was very disappointed when I heard what had happened yesterday to Neil. I've been through that myself, and it's no fun, let me assure you. I guess to me what's disappointing is that you hear that his job's guaranteed only the day before, and then the next day he's sacked, and I think the credibility of football suffers because of that.
So let's have a look at the Richmond lineup, and of course the big name there creating such interest is the return of Richardson after just 3 weeks, Terry, with a broken arm.
It hasn't taken long at all, has it? And really there has to be some doubt about him. He will play with an improved arm guard this evening, so he's one of two changes. Number 13 there, Robbie Powell's the second one. A little bit of pace coming on into their forward line.
So there is the Tigers lineup. The great interest also surrounding Melbourne is their skipper in Garry Lyon. I mean, earlier in the week there was talk that he was going to have an operation, his career could be at an end, and then of course he was selected. Well, it was interesting what he had to say earlier on Talking Footy when Mike Sheehan asked him about his future.
Are we certain to see you play again this year?
Oh, I think there's probably a fair doubt about that, to be honest, Mick, but I certainly haven't given up on playing footy again. I'm battling a bit this year, and as the weeks roll on, you tend to have to think about making a decision, and that will come in the next week or two.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? And here he is, Terry, named and will line up in the squad.
Yeah, and so undoubtedly, Sandy, it's the captain in him standing up. It's time for him to be counted. He wants to be out there with his players at this particular stage, so he's out there. Sean Charles, number one, bit of a doubt with a hamstring injury after last week. And the one late change, many people may not notice it, but the two Phoebes have swapped positions, Matthew and Stephen.
We've heard a lot of rumours here tonight, but more on that later as we have the opening bounce. It's big Jim Steins doing it for the Demons. How pumped up will they be as Broderick gets a little toe poke, doesn't go anywhere. The ball's locked up there with Andrew Kelly. And another bounce in the middle. So the Phoebe boys just swapping for this game.
Sandy, Richardson is at full forward, right in the goal square. Ingerson's his direct opponent.
Still smack bang in the middle. Steins pushed underneath, then was able to get it out. Back to Jim again. He almost threw it out the back door. Passes Farmer, however, taken away by Bond. Up towards the half-forward line. The Tigers winning the toss and kicking to the left of screen. A fierce tackling start by Melbourne. But the free kick is going the way of Richmond. This is just as an important game for the Tigers, who find themselves in 14th spot with a 4 and 5 win-loss ratio at the moment. Down towards Richardson. He did get one hand to it, unable to take it cleanly. Coming away as Woewodin to the other side. Back towards centre wing. Charles goes bursting through for the Demons. Has it on half-back. Bounces way back towards the middle. Looks up towards the left half-forward flank. First goal to the Demons, and wouldn't that give them a decent old pump-up? But here's Gaspar defending on half-back. Goes round his body. Back towards centre wing. Towards Wayne Campbell and also Andrew Ops. And it's the latter who sees it over as we welcome to the microphone one of the greats of the game, one of the greats from Punt Road, Kevin Bartlett. KB, good evening.
Good evening, Sandy, and also to Terry. The Tigers tonight certainly need a win. They've got poor percentage, and if you're a Richmond supporter tonight, you would be hoping that the Tigers could win this game, but also win it well, with Melbourne's position on the ladder and also the drama that's taken place during the week. There's Stephen Phoebe, replaced his brother Matthew Phoebe in the lineup tonight. So Phoebe from half-back, kicks up towards centre half-forward. We heard Greg Hutchison, the new coach of Melbourne, suggest if they get the ball into their forward line, then they might have a chance of putting some good scores on the board. Broderick comes away. Been taken by Charles, such an important player for the Tigers. Kicks the ball, it's a wobbly old kick down towards centre half forward, still inside the centre square. Farmer pounced on it with good quick hands. The Woewodin streams through the centre of the ground. So there's a big pumping kick inside 15. Gaspar once more up in front takes the mark.
It's a very good mark, isn't it? Gaspar always knew there was going to be pressure from behind. He back into it, and a very strong one in the key centre half-back position.
Kevin, as we watch Richmond go forward now through Nathan Bauer, he has a look down towards the left half-forward flank area. The kick is a little too far for Richardson. Ingerson heads towards the boundary line, and it eventually is taken over. Can what has happened at Melbourne also have a detrimental effect on the opposition of that week, i.e. Richmond tonight?
Well, I think only in the case of the fact that we see there Powell, Funky and also Evans on the interchange bench for Richmond, is that Melbourne might be a bit pumped up under the circumstances. and Tigers might be a little bit concerned that the players, maybe with their own futures on the line, this is the Melbourne players I'm talking about, just might pull out some little bit extra.
McDonald got it up towards centre wing. Broderick gives it towards Tape, whose hand pass is smothered and it goes over the line. Umpires tonight are Gavin Dorr, Kieran Nichols and Sam Cronje. There's Craig Nettelbeck just in picture. As we've got a throw in just in Richmond's attacking zone. Steins winning it with the right hand. They've managed to get it down towards half forward, but no further at the moment. Here goes a little chesty Bond. He caught one high and he told the umpire exactly where he copped it, but the boundary umpire says no, we'll throw it in. So too does the field umpire. That's Kieran Nichols.
And you can see there Bond has the job on Farmer, and just some of the other key ones. Michael Gale on the wings being covered by McDonald.
Looked a bit high, didn't it, KB? Play goes on. Duncan Kellaway onto the left foot, kicks towards left half forward. Again, pushed over for another throw.
It's amazing the number of players these days who actually wear strapping on their shoulders. So we saw Chris Bond then. A lot of players these days are going for that strapping. So from the boundary throw in, Charles in front of Steins, punched forward by Obst. So a bit of volleyball on the half-forward line from the Tigers. Tackler was Daffy, comes to Hopgood, just tumbles the ball back towards the centre wing position, leading the race for the ball. Out in front, couldn't take it, Bond did well. Bullis caught, just throws the ball over his head into space. Taken by Campbell, it's a short kick, ricochets back towards Prescott. Couldn't quite take control. Bauer gets it back to Campbell. So back towards centre half forward. The Tigers into attack. Phoebe caught high, thrown to the ground. He'll take the free kick.
With Phoebe coming into the side, there's a late inclusion for his brother Stephen, who dropped out. Has the job on Chris Naish. Naish, one of the players that Richmond looking forward to kick some goals in this game tonight.
So Phoebe goes short, looking for Obst. Now there's a free kick going to Melbourne. It'll be taken by Andrew Obst. So he's inside the centre square. Be interesting to see if Melbourne do kick the ball a little bit longer tonight. There has been criticism over Neil Barn. As Viney with the ball runs into the open goal. Todd Viney. This is a great start for Melbourne. They've got the first goal.
Well, exactly what they were looking for, without any doubt at all. Greg Hutchison and obviously Garry Lyon, as we heard in the lead up to the game, very motivational in the rooms beforehand, and it was important that the D's got away to a good start. It's important for Todd Viney to go well too. I mean, my pre-game notes had that he's been averaging 18 possessions a game, but only 2 goals for the year. He needed to do a bit more in that regard, and here he goes, opens up with the first one.
So the Demons lead early on here at the MCG. Somewhat of a scrappy start as Charles tries to get out of the middle, first with one foot, then the other. Picked up by Prescott. He kills with a long kick up towards the forward line. The Tigers looking for the quick reply, and they're going to get it by the looks of it, because there's a free kick going to be paid against Ingerson going towards Richardson. I think we'll take the kick.
Well, was rewarded, I guess, Sandy, for being in the front position here.
And the neck.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of everything from both players there, but the umpires this week been instructed to call the free kicks.
So Richardson looking for a triumphant return to the Tigers. Kicks from 35 metres, and up goes the black and gold. He's put it through. Welcome back, Matthew, who's kicked now 19 for the season. Coming back with that broken arm after just 3 weeks. And Richmond very quick to answer the Melbourne challenge, and the goal by Todd Viney with one from Matthew Richardson.
Well, undoubtedly he is the key to the Richmond forward line there. In the last meeting between these two sides, he kicked 6, Neats kicked 7 for Melbourne. There's no Neats out there tonight. So on that performance, Richardson really has a chance to go well.
Been averaging 9 marks a game. We know he missed 3 weeks with his broken arm and dislocated elbow. He'll be a big problem to Melbourne. Uze out of the centre square, so he pumps the ball long. It's been marked by Gaspar. He's been pretty handy in this opening term. Kicking is one of his problems. It just tumbles forward, taken by Charles. Read it well, pounced on it. Kicks the ball hurriedly back towards the half-forward line. Pushing and shoving down there was Nettelbeck. Gaspar traps it on the boundary line, then goes over.
Well, while Matthew Richardson was kicking that goal, Garry Lyon had a lot to say to the umpires in the centre of the ground, so he's obviously becoming very, very active, even if he's not getting the ball. A lot of it trying to influence his teammates and also trying to influence the umpires.
Actually, he also, Russell, as you noticed, spoke to the players after they'd come out on the ground, besides that emotional address inside the room. So Garry Lyon certainly having plenty to say as Woewodin sends Melbourne deep into the attacking zone towards Lyon. He couldn't take the mark. This should result in another goal, and he's made it 2 out of 2, Todd Viney. Well, Garry Lyon still having a bit to say, maybe just querying something, but Todd Viney has 2, and Melbourne lead by 6 points.
Well, Garry Lyon really was the key to that. He may have been a little bit fortunate to get away with some of the pushing and shoving and holding here. In this little grab there, so the way he pulls Tape out there by Tape's the right hand, but it was allowed to go, and Viney in the right spot at the right time has doubled his goal scoring for the season in about 3 minutes that it took 9 games to do.
Oh, golly, what a start. Melbourne leading here at the MCG on Saturday Night Football.
And of course, having Garry Lyon in the goal square, 2 players went up against him because of his reputation. Here comes Melbourne once more. Campbell kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Acting captain tonight for the Tigers. A good mark by Seacamp. Poor year last year, had a terrific 1995. So not really a regular in 97. Prescott across the half-forward line. Kicks long deep into the forward line. Out comes Gale. Playing in front of Gaspar. Takes the ball over the line.
Brendan Gale really one to be looked at in the forward line too. Missed a couple of key opportunities last week for his side. Missed one from 20 and then actually missed the whole goal face at one particular stage. So he'll be looking for a better performance.
So Steins wins the tap taken by Naish. Great smother off the boot by Hopgood. Quick hands back to Clarkson. So Melbourne running the ball out of defence. Woewodin kicks the ball wide. Here comes Charles. Got there. Just couldn't hang on to it. Going to ground was Campbell. Charles desperate. Farmer over the top. He's got a ball up on centre wing.
That's a surprising matchup, KB, isn't it? Wayne Campbell, who really is a bit of a kick chaser himself off the half-back line, being pitted against Sean Charles. And if Campbell goes wandering too far, I think Charles could make him pay going back towards goal.
13.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Good start by the Demons with a couple of early goals. This is Broderick, a prolific ball winner and kick getter. Kicks back towards half forward, and Burke floats over the top. Wants to go on with it, Dom, and he does towards Prescott. Inside 50 now. Here comes Richardson, steaming out at half forward. Traps it beautifully after one bounce. Flicks it round on the left boot in towards full forward. That is great play. Picked up by Benny Gale. He goes for goal. He wobbles it towards the line, and it just dribbles into the behind post. A throw-in, right forward pocket. The Tigers in attack.
Well, if you've been practicing your boundary throw-ins from the behind post and practicing this as a set play, Benny set it up very well for his side here.
Steins with the left hand. Gets it down okay towards Gaspar. Doesn't go very far, however. Here's a flick round the body in towards Richardson. Couldn't take the mark. Got the ride over Ingerson. Michael Gale may be able to take advantage. He bends it back for the Tigers and puts it through. From behind. Terry.
A lot of passion down here, Sandy, because Paul Hopgood's just been spoken to by the emergency umpire, playing very close to Nick Daffy. The heart's in it tonight for the Demons.
Could have fooled us there with that kick, Terry, couldn't they? But one behind goes on the board.
Spoilt my book.
Don't worry, you'll get another chance as Damien Gaspar has it in the back pocket for Melbourne. Has a look up towards the half-back flank. No mark taken. Or proppy hand pass by Nick Daffy. Floats over the top. Clarkson got the hand pass away almost a little too quickly. Melbourne are to push it up towards centre wing. It's flicked over the top and over the line as Paul Bullis runs through. And we'll have a throw-in. Craig Nettelbeck just getting the flick away. A throw-in on centre wing. Steins, Charles. Big Jim, 232 games from the Irishman in a marvellous career. Taking it as McDonald. Drifts it into the middle. Now Bauer's got to run. Charles is there with him. And Nathan Bauer rides one bump. Oh, he does it beautifully. Shepherding sees him clear. He runs his full distance, then wobbles a punt in towards half forward. His target there was Chris Naish. They bottle it up at centre half forward, and a bounce will take place.
Woewodin there on screen's been very good in the opening part of the game. He's had some 5 kicks running off the half-back, and really that's what he's been doing. He's been running hard and giving Melbourne a chance across half-forward.
Melbourne by 5 points. Callaway, the tackler, taken by Clarkson. What a great pickup he's been. Checking their best and fairest last year. He's been marked by Farmer. Now he's looking for 50. He won't get it. Puts his teammate under a lot of pressure, but it's coming back.
Are we going to see or hear a lot more whistle tonight, KB, after what has been said to the umpires during the week?
Well, we've been told that the umpires are going to play a lot more free kicks. I'm not quite certain that has shown out in today's round. So a chance. Phoebe kicks the ball. Chance for it in front. Gaspar over the top line. There's Melbourne skipper. Desperate. So the ball is forced through 4-1 behind.
He did call that well, Kevin. It was desperate, wasn't it? He just threw himself into the path of it, threw himself onto the boots and the legs of the Richmond player there just to try and win possession of the ball.
Didn't look like he was concerned about his back on that particular occasion.
No, I think Garry would acknowledge if he goes out there, he's going to play it at 100%.
So Scotty Turner to bring the ball back. Been a great comeback. 5 operations for assist on his knee. Can find his best form. Certainly he'll answer some problems for the Tigers at full back that they had for most of last year. You see Michael Gale with the ball over the line. So there's the Melbourne bench. Lee Newton's there, along with O'Brien and also Brett Lovett. So a bit of experience there with Brett Lovett. He's played a long time now. 227 games and twice second their best and fairest. Getting towards the end of a very good career.
From the throw-in, Tigers should be able to bring this away. Across half-back, just bouncing their way clear. It's Prescott, does it well before he gives it off to Michael Gale, who looks even further downfield to half-forward towards Richardson and brother Viney. Maybe it'll be Naish at the back, who knows? It's sung it off the ground. Exactly that for a goal. Chris Naish. He gets his first, and the Tigers tie it up.
Now that was a perfect piece of half-forward flank roving here. Great break here from Prescott. Really bursts the game open with a couple of bounce across half-back, feeds on, and then Michael Gale doesn't hesitate. Goes as long as he can with the kick, pushes it in there and over the top. And there's Naish. He had the front covered first, then able to whip through onto the side from behind, pick up the goal.
13 points apiece here at the MCG. Saturday night football coming your way on 7 Footy's home ground, and it's Melbourne through Liancelli, go down towards the half-forward line. Callaway is there for Richmond. He goes dashing through, but there's been a whistle. Have to go back. It's a Richmond ball. Callaway was off, but it'll go back to his teammate in Bullis, who wants to get on with it quickly anyway, so goes wide at Jamie Tape, who's on the outer half-back flank here at the MCG. Looks down towards right half-forward. Melbourne through Phoebe, off to Hopgood, back to Phoebe again. Playing with it on the outer wing, and then the kick is a stray. It goes onto the chest of Paul Bullis.
Bullis from the half-back flank. Scores a level, 13 points apiece. Kicks long, David Burke, Gaspar over the back. Couldn't quite take it. Campbell just shovels the ball out. Hopgood does well in front of Daffy. He's been marking him closely. Pyman's all tied up. Desperate is Seacamp at ground level to Clarkson, so quick hands by Woewodin, finds Hopgood, just belts the ball back towards the half-back flank. Uze claims the mark. So Melbourne playing with plenty of spirit in this opening term. Kicks the ball up. It's a poor kick. Callaway chips in front of Charles. Great defend for the Tigers. Tough, durable. High flyer over the top. Fantastic leap was by Bullis. Just couldn't quite hang on to the Sherrin.
Good to see a little bit of flair coming into the game there, isn't there, from Bullis, the way he jumps.
Now he's paid the mark. You reckon he hung on to this long enough? Well, he has to. So it was a good decision by the umpire. Richardson's got it, 55 metres out. Kicks a long bomb. He's off target. It's out of bounds. You see Matthew Richardson there with a guard. Been a remarkable comeback. Broken arm and dislocated elbow within 3 weeks. Got more bolts and screws in than a filing cabinet.
Viney, as you ponder KB and his comments. Melbourne getting the 2 early goals through Todd Viney. Here he is now, just chipping up towards the centre wing. Question is, can they keep it going? Brett Lovett gets the hand pass away towards McDonald. McDonald looks up towards the right half-forward flank area, over the head of Gasper and also Lioncelli. It's Lioncelli back on it now, paddling it down in towards the forward line, but then cutting across in front of him is Duncan Callaway and forcing it over the line. Good play.
Callaway now has gone on to Sean Charles, and Campbell now in the midfield against Clarkson.
Charles to do the ruck work for the Tigers. Effervescent, and here's his namesake, but with the Demons. He's caught, ridden into the ground, loses the football. Farmer is there also. It's taken over the line on the full, I think. It came off Campbell's boot on the full. So Melbourne will get a chance now through Farmer, who is capable of kicking the incredible. He's bent that back nicely, but just one behind. Very good attempt.
It was. It just could have taken a little bit more time, I think. He was very quick to get on with that, Jeff Farmer. I've seen him do that a couple of times. He kicked some great goals with that boomerang right foot.
So Turner taking his time. We can see there with a shot with the way that Melbourne has set up to try and combat the Tigers, getting the ball away from that last line of defence, taken away by Bullis. Kicks half smothered. Uze with good touch drills the ball to the half-forward line and finds Pyman. It's been a pretty good pickup. He finds Lovett, came on the ground replacing Ops, gets it across to Viney. He's booted 2 goals in his opening term. Hand pass is a poor one from Pyman. Broderick just tumbles the ball back. Can't find balls. So the Richmond side tonight has got plenty of height in it, Terry.
It's a very big lineup, isn't it? You know, the conditions aren't against taking a good mark, as we saw Bullis earlier. Great fly and great grab on that outer side.
Jimmy Steins just pushed Charles under the ball, taken by Bauer. The kick half smothered off the boot. Farmer playing for the free kick. Viney has been very good in this opening term. Kicks the ball back inside 50, backing back is Gaspar. I can remember Dermot Brereton saying once when he was with the Sydney Swans that Gaspar was one of the best marks he's ever seen. So strutting his stuff for the Tigers, and there's Uze.
And he's kicking, Kevin.
Pretty ordinary.
Uze's kick finds Clarkson. And he whips it down towards line. Now here he comes on the lead. Fisted clear in towards the half-back line now for Richmond, and they've been standing tall in that area so far in this match. Hopgood got a handle, could have almost been held. Plays on regardless. Well done by Hopgood. Melbourne deep into the attacking zone once again. Down towards half-forward. Picked up on the half volley almost by Nettelbeck. Bends it round his body, but too wide and out of bounds on the full.
Melbourne have really settled quite well. You know, the opening couple of minutes, there was always going to be which way was it going to go.
Let's go down to Mark Doran on the boundary. Mark?
Yes, Andy, down here in the 50-metre line, Richmond's 50-metre line, they've just made a move. Benny Gale has gone out, and it's now Matty Richardson and Burke playing one-on-one. Richardson's fitness looks fine. He's running around. He is checking that left-arm guard, but he seems to be playing quite well, and fitness is fine.
Here's Scotty Turner. He's got a birthday today. Turns 27 through the arms of Bullis. Nettelbeck at the back as it's belted over the line, which is interesting because so too does Clint Eastwood. So it might be a case of go ahead and make my day for the Tigers, KB.
Well, he's an important player for Richmond, Scotty Turner. Last year when he went out with his knee problems, it caused all sorts of troubles for the Tigers' defences. Broderick kicks the ball around the corner. Stephen Phoebe, who came in to replace his brother. Up a couple of touches also in this first quarter to Lovett. It's been handy since coming off the bench. So the veteran kicks the ball inside 50. Here's the skippers out in front. Be an inspiration to Melbourne if he can kick an early goal. Bond gets it across to Prescott. Oops, it's pretty tough in the clinches. Callaway taken away by Farmer. Goes short, very, very short. Went past Nettelbeck and finds Viney. So he's kicked 2 goals in this opening quarter.
You've got to watch Nick Daffy. Nick Daffy's finding it very difficult to shake the Hopgood tag. Hopgood's playing so close to him that Daffy may be going onto the ball, so keep an eye on that, Wills.
So Todd Viney from outside 50. So it's one for the high flyers in the square. Farmer's got it.
This is always going to be the thing, isn't it? When even just having Garry Lyon there, it just takes that momentary attention away from their direct opponents from a number of Richmond defenders. And on that occasion, that they all sort of take a bit of a go there. Farmer has the jump on Broderick, who I don't think is his direct opponent at all.
So Jeff Farmer from point blank range kicks a goal. So this is a very promising start by Melbourne. They won the opening game of the year. There's the new coach, Greg Hutchison, getting a little bit animated, and I dare say he'd be pretty happy with the performance in this first quarter.
Well, there's no doubt about that. The way in which they've jumped into the task, I think everyone expected them to do well for the opening couple of minutes, but then weren't sure what could happen there. They've maintained their intensity at the ball. They're being very hard at the contest. One-on-one, they're prepared to dive in at it and meet the ball on every occasion, being rewarded at this stage.
So the Demons' confidence starts to grow a little. 3-2 plays 2-1. Jeff Farmer getting his first goal as we go back in the middle with just over 5 minutes of this first quarter remaining. Good start. Charles and Steins. Prescott out of the middle. Richmond have answered every challenge when Melbourne have got. It goes down towards Richardson and co once again. They'll answer again. No worries about that, says Trent Nichols. Nichols gets his 97th career goal and Richmond's third. It's a point the difference. As Greg Hutchison, and behind him on the left is David Schwartz. Wouldn't he dearly love to be out there wearing the red and blue?
It's quite a list of players missing, isn't it, Sandy? But the boys are in here at the moment doing quite well. I mean, Greg Hutchison, his defence has been very, very sound. They're just getting beaten. This is the second one now, whereby a half-forward flanker, this time Nichols, went able to get over the back, running onto a free ball in space.
And that was a good goal by Nichols, and after kicking that he ran straight to the bench. He was about to be dragged. However, Robert Walls had a change of mind, thought that was a nice goal, and he stays on now.
So Gaspar tried to crash his way through. Prescott gets the ball across to Daffy. As we've been told, being closely checked by Paul Hopgood. There's Nichols, who's just kicked the first goal for him tonight. But Phoebe, who's picking up Nichols tonight, gives it across to Hopgood. So with time, he can try and set it up. He's in two minds, so he kicks the ball to space. Making good ground was Nettelbeck, punched away by Bullis at ground level. Pounced on by Broderick. Western Ferris winner for the Tigers last year. It's a poor kick. Gale slaps the ball on back to Broderick. So he feeds the ball off to Bond. Kicks a high ball inside 50. Richardson just thumped the ball to the ground. It was good play. Daffy should kick a goal. He's missed. So he'd be pretty disappointed, Nick Daffy.
He's really been off target over the last few weeks. It's came to this game with 4 goals, 9 over the last 3 weeks. So he now stretches out to 4-10. 17 goals for the season, but gee, flat spot at the moment is Nick Daffy.
Well, Broderick is off, and so not quite certain whether he's injured or with the blood rule. We might check down there with Russell Morris. So McDonald on the half-back flank. Kicks the ball back. Nettelbeck in front. Good strong mark by Charles. Make that Bullis, who's become a pretty good player, an important player for the Tigers at centre half-back.
Looks like the blood rule, KB, as we saw Broderick there, just having some attention to the nose as it's on left half forward for Richmond. Bond sees it over the line.
Yeah, Paul Broderick just getting his nose blown by the club doctor. You can see him with his hanky there, so I think he should be all right. Sandy?
He's a good club doctor if he can blow Paul Broderick's nose.
It's unbelievable. Thrown again. So scores all tied up at the MCG. Steins plucks it out of the air and is then ridden into the ground. There's Jim. Ricochets over the line. It was touched, so there'll be a throw. On left half forward, 3.5 minutes in this first quarter remaining. I imagine Robert Walls would be somewhat concerned, but I'm sure he would have expected exactly this from Melbourne after the turmoil that has gone on there. Trying to storm through then was Nichols for another goal. Didn't get an opportunity, neither did Phoebe. Steins did well just to try and tap it over. Picked up by Viney, does some heavy work and then gets a hurry kick out towards Farmer. Gee, moves like Grease Lightning, doesn't he? Off he goes to Hopgood. Now Melbourne can do something here. He goes wider to Phoebe. He looks down towards Charles on right half forward and he takes the mark.
Gee, he's quick, isn't he? There's no doubt in that hamstring just at the moment.
We've got a couple that are really, really quick. Farmer and Charles, to name 2. They can really move. Now he's going short, just inside 50. It wasn't a good kick. Turner should tidy up towards Michael Gale. He does. The ladder just tumbles a punt back towards centre wing. Straight back to Charles, however. He gives it off towards Lovett. Lovett kicks long in towards Lyon territory once again. Belted away from him down towards Gaspar, who'll be quite happy to see it over the line, but it's come off his boot. On the full. In fact, it was which boot? That's the question we'll have to ask. It's come off Clarkson's boot. According to I don't think that's right. I thought it came off Gaspar's boot. In fact, it has. It has. So it has been reversed now by the umpire after consultation with the boundary umpire. Richmond fans not happy, but Clarkson has the kick. Now he's just inside 50. Richmond fans still having plenty to say about that decision. Maybe they saw something a little closer in the replay. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But Clarkson, the bottom line of it all, has the ball. He's 46 metres out. He starts it right. It's a very good-looking kick. I think that's a miraculous goal. Well, that is a sensational kick, Terry Wheeler.
No doubt whatsoever. I mean, Alastair Clarkson really doesn't have a reputation as a goal kicker, but this one, he's gone back, very, very deliberate, total control all the way, and has let it go from just on 50. I mean, that's a tremendous kick. Did not deviate one bit. That's a great catalyst for Melbourne as we approach a quarter-time break.
So the Demons by 6 points, taken away by Daffy, tumbles the ball back towards the half-forward line. So Melbourne's confidence will be buoyed, no doubt about that. They needed a good start. Lovett rockets the ball wide, picked up by McDonald, centre wing, goes short. Here's Farmer, been very, very lively. He's a good player. The boy from Tamballup kicks the ball to the half-forward line, and there's Bullis, who's beating Nettelbeck.
No doubt, he's been a tower of strength across half-back there. I think that's a move that Greg Hutchison has to look at, his player at centre half forward.
Already taken 4 marks, and he's had 9 possessions. So Melbourne falling down at centre half forward. Prescott to Gale. Has to kick hurriedly back towards the half forward line. Lovett punched the ball, taken by Powell. Good hands from Gale. So Powell, who is very quick, off and running. He can run all the way, hugging the boundary line. Can he thread it through across the face of goals? Oh. Richardson over the top of Ingerson. Can't take it. Minor score.
Great run there from Powell. Just the error in his movement was that the kick needed to go towards the top of the square.
Let's have a look at the replay of that interesting out of bounds on the full. Whose leg or boot did it come off? Have a look here. Maybe it came off the boot of Clarkson.
Looked like it to me there, Sandy.
Aha, interesting. Interesting. Well, the goal will stand as Richmond go pumping forward through Chesty Bond and pop through a behind. Yes, there's no doubt about it. The camera did not lie on that. It came off the boot of Clarkson. He was given the free kick, and he's kicked a goal that will be remembered for some time. So inside the last minute, eventually bringing it back in as Woewodin. After a little uncertainty as to where to go. They'd dearly love another one before siren time. Now, if Charles can get free, he's got to break Kellaway's run. He's just about done it. Here he goes. Look at this. Inside 50. Overbalances. Loses the ball. Tape tries to get it out towards Kellaway. He's successful. Gaspar's ripped to the ground. It's pushed wide. Campbell should take the hand pass, and he does. And the Tigers are out of trouble. Up towards Bullis. Maybe there's time for the Tigers. Inside 25 seconds. Bullis's kick is inside 50. He wants Richardson. He's caught behind. If it sits, he's in business. Richo goes for goal, and he misses. Gee, they've had a couple of opportunities there, Terry.
They certainly have, and really, I now really consider the swap over, perhaps of Ingerson and Nettelbeck. Nettelbeck can go back onto Richardson because Richardson really has given himself plenty of chances there, and Ingerson to centre half forward to try and get something through that half forward line.
3 points the margin. Woewodin goes short to Ingerson, and his kick is not a good one. It drops a little short, puts pressure on Robert Pyman. He comes back in towards Lovett, who has a look down in towards the middle of the ground. It's close to siren time. In fact, there it is. It's quarter time, and Melbourne coming out pumped up, as you would expect, after the traumatic week that they've had. and getting away to a flying start with Todd Viney kicking their first couple of goals. And then another one from Alastair Clarkson, a late one from Jeff Farmer, and also one from Clarkson. That was the goal that wasn't a goal, but it stands, and it was a miraculous kick. And then Richmond seeming to answer the challenge and probably could have been further ahead had their kicking for goal been a little better. Greg Hutchison, a veteran with the Melbourne club, played 96 games between 75 and 84, and then of course went on to coach Paran. So he's got a big night for him tonight as we check the quarter time score. It is Richmond 3-5-23, Melbourne are 4-2-26. And we're about to go into the second quarter.
And Sandy, Melbourne haven't made the change at centre half forward. Lee Newton's the player to come on. He's taking that position, and Nettelbeck on the bench.
Garry Lyon just flexing his arms and keeping that back as loose and as warm as he possibly can as we go into the second quarter. Charles wins it. Viney with strength gets through, and he does it well. He gives it off to Clarkson. Clarkson goes down towards Charles' territory, but he's beaten this on this occasion. The mark taken by Jamie Tate. Tate from half back goes to the outer side, and the floater all alone is Duncan Kellaway. He's a fine player. 87 games to his credit now. Helicopter punt goes back towards centre wing. Shane Woewodin was one of the flyers from the side, couldn't take the mark, and so umpire Sam Cronje, who made his debut last year, the 27-year-old accountant, will come in for a bounce.
Chris Nash on screen, already kicked a goal in that first quarter. He's been in the reserves this year, which is unusual because he's been a fine player for the Tigers. That forward line tonight with Powell and Nichols, also Nash. They've got plenty of crummers. As long as the ball can come to the ground, certainly Matthew Richardson, Terry will make certain that if he doesn't mark it, no one else will take a mark.
Definitely, and I was talking to Chris Nash a week ago, and he was saying it's the first time he's played reserve since 1991. So he has been a well-established player.
It was his first year of league football. He won the reserves best and fairest that year, Chris Nash. As we see McDonald, as the ball kicked off the ground by Clarkson. So the ball on the half-forward line, and Lee Newton takes the ball over for a boundary throw-in.
I think that's a good move from Hutchison to bring Newton in on there. You know, he kicked 2 goals last week, made his debut in round 3, but has really found to be quite an athletic young player.
So the youngster from Ballarat wins the tap down towards Farmer, taken away by Bullets, who was a star in the first quarter. So the Tigers under pressure. Tate kicks a high ball. Who'll stand underneath it? Prescott. Ricochets back to Jimmy Steins, the Brownlow medalist, so he thumps the ball back inside 50. Garry Lyon in front. Over the top was Turner. Campbell had it, lost it. Takes it straight over the line.
Free kick.
We've got a boundary throw in.
I was nearly with you then, Sandy. I thought that was a free kick. He definitely handballed the ball out, then was tackled and taken over the line.
So a chance for Melbourne. Lee Newton in front with the ball at the back of the pack.
How did he get out of there?
Now you see him, now you don't. Broderick goes wide, great vision, finds Nash, centre wing position, outer side of the ground. So Nash kicks a long ball down towards a big pack of players. Gales in front, has it tapped away. Nichols caught, shoveled out to Daffy. He kicks down, looking for Richardson in front. Ingerson's his opponent. Here's David Burke, all arms and legs. Looks like a creepy crawly. Lost it, taken away by Seacamp. So Melbourne, buoyed by their great first term, kicks the ball down towards Lee Newton in front, punched away by Bullis. It's been a stumbling block. He's been sensational. At ground level, big pack of players as Ops finally drives his opponent to the ground. And Adem a little bit slow to get up.
Thought he was Mario Milano for a minute. On centre wing. From the Demon bench, we go back into the action.
Craig Nettelbeck there, who was at centre half forward in that first quarter, Sandy, but obviously taken off because of the dominance of Bullis.
Phoebe left it towards Woewodin, and now over the line goes Uze. And another throw. Steins and Charles to do the work. Either get it cleanly. Viney, a hurried kick, goes probably 25 metres before bouncing over the line in front of Jamie Tate.
Sandy, we haven't seen much of Jim Stein, so I think some accolades need to go to Justin Charles, and to be able to negate Steins is quite an effort, and I think Charles has done that to date.
On centre wing. Charles does it well from the back, but straight down towards Adem, who kicks up towards half forward. Here's Broderick again. As KB says, now you see it, now you don't. Off towards Bond, a high kick over centre wing. Prescott is lurking in front of the pack. He puts it in towards half forward. Out comes Richardson steaming. Has it with one hand, gets caught, loses it, bounces up again, and bang, then is ridden to the ground. And they pounce upon it on that 50-metre line. At the bottom is Anthony McDonald for the Demons, and Richardson is not happy about that. Thought he might have heard a whistle. But
well, he's hard at it there. I don't know what upset him there. But Melbourne were just equally as hard at the ball as Richardson was.
Certainly was a little upset. 3 points the margin. Melbourne in front. Scoring difficult in this second quarter. Having played 4 or 5 minutes. Still no goals. Maybe a chance this time. Kellaway, a little toe poke up towards half forward. Michael Gale got a bad bounce. Getting a good one though was Trent Nichols. He changes it. He goes. Second goal to Trent Nichols, and the Tigers hit the front. They lead by 3 points.
Well, it just keeps going. There has not been consecutive goals kicked by either side just yet. It's goal for goal right throughout, and Nichols now getting the first of this second quarter and getting it again in true roving style. He really has been the type of player that sides needs across half forward. Travelled a few clubs between Richmond and returning, but been a great return player.
Trent Nichols certainly has done the full circle. Richmond, West Coast, North, back to Richmond. He's kicked 10 goals for the season. Always had beautiful skills. So the Tigers out of the centre square. Richardson off the chest, taken by Gaspar, heads for the safety of the boundary line. There's Hopgood on screen, who's been picking up Nick Daffy.
Good pressure on Richmond here. I mean, when they've been behind at quarter time, they've only won once last year or at all this year as well. And so they were behind here at quarter time. They were down by 3 points. So they're working in uncharted waters at the moment, the Tigers.
They lead by 3 points. Steins to Woewodin. Farmer got a bad bounce. Newton tried to tap it on out towards Farmer, taken by Bauer. Gives it to Bond, who chips it very short and finds Charles on the edge of the centre square. Major player now for Richmond. Kicks up towards centre forward. David Burke underneath the ball. Here's Nichols. Pounced on it. Rockets the ball back to Gale. Goes very, very short to Burke. Takes a diving mark.
Play on.
Not full distance. So he's all tied up. He's hanging a few words there. David Burke, who is a much improved player, the son of Francis.
And they go up like the Australian slips cordon. A bump ball was called.
I think he might have used some words there that Francis never used in his life. Steins.
See what with one.
Taken by Kellaway. Had it, then lost it. Good play by McDonald. It's been a handy pick-up from old Zabs. He's done well, but taken away by Gale. The raging bull kicks down. It's a wobbly old kick towards 50. Nation, hands and knees. Caught.
Oh, definitely holding the ball.
So taken away by Pyman. Kicks back towards the centre wing position. Taken by Tate.
No doubt about that with Nash. He had a couple of goes of getting out, then was tackled legitimately. He should have been pinged.
Jamie Tate waits for Benny Gale to make position down on half forward. That's where he heads. Unable to take it though. Did get a hand to it. Pyman, Woewodin and co lock it up. So a bounce to take place with Richmond leading, but only by 3 points. Just the 1 goal so far in the second quarter. It's gone the way of the Tigers. Kicked by that man, Trent Nichols. Not a big crowd here tonight.
Actually, we've got
Richmond supporters.
We've got a new competition tonight. It's called the Mitre 10 Spot the Melbourne Supporter.
You're a hard man, KB. You're a hard man. However, they won't be too disappointed at the moment. They're putting up a pretty good showing. Bauer had it, then tries to smack it clear. Can't do so. Nichols again in the thick of things. Gets the hand passed out to his own advantage. Goes at it again. Gives it away to Michael Gale. A high kick comes back in towards Richardson territory once more. He couldn't take it. Woewodin caught at the back. An opportunity for Bauer. A snap. And it bounces across the face of goal and through for one behind.
Trent Nichols is really starting to become a handful across the half-forward line for the Melbourne defence. I think it's Michael Phoebe who has a task on him now. He really just needs to take some time out and tighten up.
Which Phoebe was that?
Did I say Michael?
They're twins, you could be wrong. Here's Obst.
There's a third one, they're triplets.
Oh, don't tell us. It's bad enough with the two. Here's Burke again. On all fours, we've got the hand pass out. It's not a pretty game, this, but it's a real struggle. There's desperation plus, especially from Melbourne. They've had their noses wiped in it during the week. They've been described as the absolute rock bottom, the worst, and they're out to do something about it.
Nashoff and Powell on for the Tigers.
And Richmond's certainly not having it all their own way. Gale doing the ruck work. He was beaten. But again, it goes nowhere.
And to me, that's a strange move. I mean, Nashoff, Powell on, they're exactly the same player. You know, I think if a coach really wants to influence a game, he's needing to change the structure a little bit and get something different out there. That move was just keeping the status quo for mine.
Shane Woewodin picks himself up. Gale gets front spot again. He's unable to take it cleanly. Nick Daffy has given away a free kick to Woewodin. Goes across the ground. It's going to be okay. Melbourne haven't goaled in this term. Steins has a chance to mark on centre wing, and he does. He gives it off to Hopgood. Now they may get their opportunity as Hopgood looks down inside 50. A long penetrating kick. Watch out for the speedsters. Here's one of them. Close to the boundary line is Farmer. He takes the ball over due to the pressure applied to him. That was by Chesty-Bond. And there'll be a throw in.
Got some terrific speed, young Jeff Farmer. He's exciting, he's clever. It just might be a handful before tonight's out. Newton caught high, no free kick. Here's Charles, his partner in crime, around the corner. Scotty Turner. So he breaks wide. He's got a loose player. It's Campbell. So he's on the half-back flank. Callaway wanted it wide. He's been ignored. Prescott back to Tate. So the Tigers go forward up towards centre half forward. There's the long arms of Benny Gale. Feeds it off. Powell just off the interchange bench. Runs into the open goal.
Yes,
that's bangs it through.
Great move, Robert Walls. Great move. That's sensational, isn't it?
I think Terry...
You always hope for that as a coach.
Terry Wheeler was sacked during the season once, wasn't he?
And I think I now know why, because I can't coach. This is just sensational.
That's not true.
It's one of the first times that Gasper's been beaten at centre half back. I think he's been very good, but he let the front position go there to Gale, and Powell was just powering through half forward, and the left footer really had no problem at all sliding it through.
Robert Powell gets his first and the fifth for the Tigers. They stretch their lead. Melbourne's last goal, the 29-minute mark of the first quarter, so it's been a long time between drinks. It goes down towards the Tigers' half-forward line once again. At the bottom there, trying to get it out. Now, that could almost be a bounce, I think. At the bottom is Trent Nichols. Robert Walls looking a little calmer.
Sandy, it's taken a long time to get consecutive goals. That's the first time for the game that a side has put back-to-back goals together.
Just in the Tigers' attacking zone once more. Taken by Obst. Standing start, he wobbles it over the centre. Richmond leading in the race. Bullis combines well with Bond, and away he goes. He's like lightning, a couple of bounces. He made chip up towards full forward. He wants Richardson. Richardson is edged out, then had to beat a couple. He couldn't do that. So now the Melbourne defence being asked to stand up, and it is. McDonald's kick goes towards the half-back line, and it's taken by Viney. He looks down towards centre wing. Got the big young boy there in Newton. Got a hand to it, but that was all. Couldn't take the mark. At the back is Jim Stein. He needs someone running. Has got Farmer. Was held. Dribbles it out in front of him. Loses it to Gasper. Well done by Gasper. Now he gives it to Charles, who spears it in towards Burke. Doesn't appreciate the close attention he was receiving. Looks down towards Richardson. He's still a long way out, some 80 metres. Kicks in towards half forward. Waiting down was Hopgood. Did the roving work pretty well. This is Stein. Caught, written into the ground, and should be beaten. Oh, dear, oh dear.
Umpire Gavin Dorr standing firm there.
Well, he's the experienced umpire of the three there tonight. In fact, officiated the '96 grand final. It was a sensational tackle because he locked up the left arm. Take it, KB.
So Gaspar wins the tap. Sharked here by Daffy. This could bounce through. It's bouncing. It's hit the post. So Nick Daffy's first score is a point. And Melbourne's just got to be careful here that the Tigers' second point. Just got to be careful that
in actual fact, you're
Tigers
second
don't get away.
You can't kick points in Australian rules football. You get a point for kicking a behind.
Well, we've kicked a few in our time. Steins at ground level. Broderick. It's all tied up on the half-forward line. Justin Charles. He's having a big duel with Jimmy Steins tonight. About even at the moment. Hopgood. It's been taken away. Pinched by Broderick. Feeds it out to Daffy. It's a long bomb. It's off target.
Paul Broderick, just how does he do that? I mean, that's the third. It's sensational. It's the third time tonight he's been able to step through. I mean, what a player he's been. I've got him down for finishing top 3 in best and fairest 5 out of the last 6 years at Fitzroy and at Richmond. So, I mean, that's not a bad effort. And he continues to show here tonight. 7 kicks, 4 hand passes. It's been very good. Strong mark taken by Gaspar. Goes from half back. He's done well. Tried his heart out for the Melbourne club. Trying to spin out the back door was Andrew Leoncelli, and wanting to disappear was Craig Nettelbeck, but the whistle is sounded.
Melbourne still concerned about the breaking down across their half-forward line. They've given Lee Newton a chance. He's back on the bench, and Nettelbeck is to replace him. Centre half forward, that is.
The ball on the outer wing here at the MCG. Charles was there. He couldn't take it. Obst also for Melbourne. Back with Obst now. Almost taken high, but the ball spills free, and it should come out the way of Prescott from a standing start. It's high over the middle. Which way will it bounce? Straight up in the air. Daffy tries a roundhouse left fist. Gains probably 25 metres. Melbourne a chance through Viney. After taking it from Gaspar towards Garry Lyon. Scotty Turner. It's his birthday. Wobbles it to Jamie Tate. And he can't control it. Eventually taking it over the line. It's a great duel between those two, isn't it? There's that air of expectation each time it goes down to Garry Lyon in the one-on-one situation with Scotty Turner. He's working him bodily, but Turner has had the answers on each occasion so far. Obst and Lovett just changing places on the ground. Here's Clarkson. Does it nicely and should goal for the D's, and he does. Alastair Clarkson gets his second, and Melbourne get their first for the quarter. They're down by 1 straight kick. Well, this was a very good piece of work, and again, Lyon, a bit of an instigator in there, being in that he just charged straight at the ball. That committed Scotty Turner to go with him, and then all of a sudden there was this huge gap between them. Once Clarkson got through, he was able to go on. Clarkson straight off, O'Brien on.
Well, Alastair Clarkson straight off the ground. He's on the phone there to the new coach, and Greg Hutchison. He's booted 2 goals. So Charles slaps the ball forward. Brett Lovett also just off the interchange bench. The experience. Can he set it up? Thump forward there by Ashley Prescott. Goes 25 metres. Powell is very, very quick. Great running by Campbell down from half-back. Runs to 50. Kicks long to the goal square. Good chance. Ingerson got his hands on it. Thought he should have taken the mark. Minor score.
There's an argument there for the coach having direct contact with his runner. I mean, I'm sure Greg Hutchison didn't want Clarkson to come off after he's kicked the goal. Whatever it was, I mean, Clarkson was able then to give a little bit of energy to his teammates if he had stayed on for the next couple of minutes because he did such a good job, kicked the goal.
So Woewodin is the designated kicker for the Demons. Oh. It's a wobbly old one. Might come off. Gaspar, if he can trap it, got a kind bounce, then gets support out wide from Uze. So Melbourne showing a little bit of flair. Uze with 2 bounces. Belts the ball inside 50. There's Bullis. He's been the stumbling block. Across centre half back. Breaks wide to Bauer. So kicks back towards centre wing, so Gaspar should take an easy mark. Takes the free kick instead.
Always pretty football tonight, has it?
No, there's been a lot of turnovers one way or the other.
Gaspar has done very well. Finds McDonald. 5 kicks, 3 marks to McDonald. Left foot floating punt kick goes up towards the half-forward line, and Bullis is there once again. He does it well. Brings it back in towards the middle. Now the race is on. Charles had almost been hurled. Lovett was there. Sock it out of his hands. Back towards Gaspar it goes again. Gets the hand pass towards Charles. Just looked up at the critical stage. Burke almost threw that out, but play goes on. And it does for Gaspar. Well done. Off to Phoebe. He kicks long up towards left half forward. It's going to be okay. The mark's taken there by Adem. Melbourne showing some urgency. Under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. They're down by 7 points, but by no means out. Jim Steins at half-forward.
That was a sensational kick there from Uze. He waited until the right moment and found Steins.
Goes on with the job, wants it in the pocket. They're all up, no one down. Here's Lyon, almost threw it out with one hand. Gaspar over the top, back to him once again. Great tackle, gives it back towards Lyon. A high kick in towards full forward. And Michael Gale was there. He couldn't take... The Demons are back! Jeffrey Farmer, the show is on. Get your tickets now. He's booted 2. Then the D's have 6. 6-2 plays 5-9.
Well, one moment it's there and the next moment it's gone. Michael Gale, the mistake Michael Gale makes here is that he goes to take on a chest mark. He doesn't reach out to meet the ball as early as possible, and there's some little bit of interference on the ball that allows it to get through to Farmer. Here it is tossed. Gale, he's a lay down to take it, goes for the chest mark, and in that time Farmer was able to step in and snare it.
O'Brien did well as also, because he first of all smothered the ball, then applied the terrific tackle, which forced the ball free for Lyon to kick the ball back towards the goal square. So good play by O'Brien, just in his second season, 28 years of age, one of the oldest recruits for a long time. So a free kick, it's going to the Tigers against Jimmy Steins.
But that's a key thing for young players on that marking duty, is that you meet the ball as early as you can. Never wait for it to come on to you.
Charles kicks inside 50. Gale went up with one hand. Woewodin, been a very good pick up from East Fremantle. And bowled over line is Pyman. So some danger signs here for Richmond. They lead by a point, 39-38. We see Nettelbeck off and Newton coming back on at centre half forward. So Melbourne had a fair bit of trouble with that key post. Leon Chally beats Newton over the line. So Leon Chally on screen also from Old Zads. Broke his leg last year. It's been a handy player for him this year. Alastair Clarkson still on the interchange bench with Nettelbeck. So ringing the changes, particularly with Clarkson, who's kicked 2 goals. Uze can't trap it. Well, this has been the first half Melbourne's wanted, Terry, to be competitive, to be within touch. And I think at half-time,
oh, they're giving themselves every chance.
They'll be fairly confident they might pull off a big upset here tonight.
But isn't that, the disappointing thing, that if these Melbourne players actually get up and perform well and even win, what a slap in the face for Neil Baum that is. And that's where I get disappointed with football.
So ball up on the half-forward line. Steins wins the tap, taken away by Campbell. Back towards centre wing. Powell gives it across to Broderick. Long raking hand pass to Nichols. He's booted 2. Comes onto the left boot. He's got great skills. Bangs it through.
Well, that's seemingly is just the place there where Melbourne are falling down, and being able to counter the quick players across half forward. We saw Robbie Powell kick a similar goal in this quarter, and now Trent Nichols has picked up his second. Those 3 goals have all been a result of the player being able to run onto the ball, run onto the 50 or inside, as Nichols is on this occasion, have sufficient time to balance, settle and kick the goal. They're taking them apart there.
Richmond answer the Melbourne challenge. Again, it's a 7-point ball game with under 3 minutes remaining in the first half, and an infringement within the square, so the free kick goes the way of the Tigers, to be taken by Brendan Gale. He looks quickly down towards the forward line. Richardson's his target. Play on is the call. The mark is not paid. Tiger fans will not be happy. So Michael Gale comes in. He's not paid the mark either. Things are starting to warm up here at the MCG on Saturday Night Football on 7. It's a Tiger ball. It's going to be taken by, I think it should be Campbell, but Gale, no, Michael Gale's going to take it. And he plays it straight on, goes down towards left half forward, and Broderick has the mark. 7 kicks, 5 hand passes. His first mark. The reigning club champion. From Camperdown in the Western District. He just goes short and he puts it under the chest of Matthew Richardson. Produced a few good ones, Camperdown. Of course, Kenny Hinkley.
Scotty Lucas at the moment, centre from Essendon.
Yes, the Lords.
Yep,
the Lords from there. But at the moment, let's concentrate on Richardson. Kicked 1 in the first quarter. Came into this game with 18 goals, 13 beside his name for the season. It's kicking from 42 metres. It's a drop punt. It's missed.
Paul Broderick having a lot of influence on the ground at the moment. That last one when he gave it to Nichols, he moved so quickly through the pack, no one actually knew what happened. It was so fast that allowed Nichols to run onto the ball so quickly and run into an open goal, and also passing it off to Richardson then. Very, very dominant, and the Demons have got to stop him.
Well, he's had 13 possessions so far. High flyer is Gale. Starting to find a bit of touch. Back to Broderick. We've spoken about his influence. Richardson at the back. Good punch away by Ingerson. Powell. Is he over the line? No, he wasn't. From an impossible angle.
Oh, no!
He's kicked the goal.
Oh, no! This is like a sideshow.
Well, he's kicked 2 with less than a minute to go in this second quarter.
As a coach, you work with young players there, particularly left-footers, and you want them to be able to develop their skills either side. So you would have encouraged him to go around on his right foot. But oh no, in tight, on the left foot, and through the eye of a needle if you don't mind.
Did he go over here? His feet were over. Looks like he kept the ball in.
An incredible goal from Robert Powell. We've seen a couple of gems here at the MCG tonight. That should be a free kick to Richmond. It's not. It's Broderick again for yet another possession. He goes down towards half forward, but chopped off by Woewodin. He goes across the ground. Oh, this is absolute danger. Now that's when Barmy, because we know he's a bit animated, would have hung the head and thought, what is going on? Burke has the mark. So it's Barm out, Hutchison in, and now he is reaching for the phone. Matt Rendell at the back there on the right. Now the reserves coach also couldn't believe his eyes.
It's a couple of there from Woewodin there. He's a couple of kickoffs he hasn't quite got away from.
A few weeks ago, Terry, even against Fremantle, he had a couple of poor kick-ins. And I just mentioned the fact that young players under pressure kicking the ball in these days feel that pressure, but looks like he is capable of making a few kicking errors.
Yep. Burke should not have a problem with this kick, although the side's kicking generally tonight has not been good. 7-10. He's kicking from 25 metres. It's a drop punt, and right on the siren. I think he might have missed that. Disappointment there for young Burke as he bypasses Marcus Seacamp, kicks it behind, so that's their 11th, and really they have had the opportunity to build up a very, very handy lead. Instead, Melbourne stay in this game. They only kicked a couple of goals, though, in that quarter. Jeff Farmer and Alastair Clarkson, they were their contributors. Both of those boys have 2, while for Richmond in that term, Trent Nichols kicked 2 and Robert Powell kicked 2. Garry Lyon has not kicked a goal to date, but he has used his influence and his experience down in that forward line with considerable effect. So Greg Hutchison and his hierarchy make their way across the ground to meet the Melbourne boys. It's half-time here at the MCG on this Clint Eastwood and Scott Turner's birthday, and it is Richmond 7-11-53 leading Melbourne 6-2-38. So here we go, the second half at the MCG. Saturday night football coming away on 7 Sport, and I hope you're enjoying it. It's not a good bounce. Broderick has it taken by Viney, an interesting kick. Uze was clean bowled. Viney lost it. Gasper had it only for a moment, trying to storm his way through. Then was Darren O'Brien. He couldn't take it. And there's been a whistle. In fact, it's going to be down the ground. It's going to be taken by Sean Charles.
And his namesake Justin Charles is playing at centre-half forward for Richmond, just as Russell Morris indicated.
Here's Sean's kick. Now Farmer's got to beat a couple. He used Benny Gale as a step ladder. He didn't appreciate it either. Broderick swings round now, picks up yet another possession. Short little chip kick into the middle. It's not a good kick, but in trouble was Lioncelli. He lost it. Gasper could have been held. Play on, says the umpire. I'm sure he was held. It's in the middle, and that's where it'll stay. Andrew Obst picks himself up.
Evans Bauer and Chris Nash on the interchange bench. Ross Funk is on the ground for the Tigers. So ball up inside the centre square. Melbourne, can they get the first goal? Give their supporters a little bit more heart. It's been a pretty good first half by him as Charles does a bit of dancing, kicks the ball back towards Garry Lyon. Nearly took a one hand. He's just had the one kick, kicks the ball off the ground. This is bouncing towards the goal line. He's kicked it.
It's there.
Listen to the roar from the Melbourne supporters. There's not many here tonight, but they're strong in voice. No, there's more than 2, Sandy.
Well, that's just the start they wanted, isn't it, Terry?
Oh, and just the bloke they wanted to get it too. I mean, Garry Lyon during the week said it was time for the skipper to come up and be counted. He wanted to step out and play. He's done it. He's battled extremely hard through the first half. Been a great duel there with Turner. Turner probably on top, but he's got one now right at the crucial stage, the start of the second half.
53 plays 44. We've got a game, I think, in the middle. Steins won it, but Viney almost loses his strides as he tries to, with strength, get through that pack.
I think it's worth, Sandy, I think it's worth acknowledging that Garry Lyon indicated he was going to play this week on Wednesday prior to Neil Baum even being given the sack.
Obst through, but without the ball. No one can take it away cleanly. Eventually it's Steins, who's dumped as he got the kick. Belted clear, an opportunity maybe for Campbell. Rides the tackle, then gets the hand pass out of it. It goes straight to Phoebe. He's ridden into the ground. The cry of ball goes up. Viney again uses strength, and he tumbles over an opponent as he gets a kick down towards Lyon and Turner. Turner gets the better bounce. Lyon right on his hammer. Turner gets it out. He needs help over. It's socket off the ground. Only as far as O'Brien. He's in trouble. Gets it out towards Obst. A high kick. Wobbles in towards the left forward pocket. Lyon almost juggle it. Got a hand to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Uze is there as well. Things are starting off pretty hot in this second half, and it's eventually over the line.
Well, they're really under the pump here, the Tigers, in the early part. Robert Walls last week at the end of the game said too many of his players were not prepared to pay the price for a victory when they were overrun by St Kilda. I'm sure he's put it right to him here at half-time.
Richmond by 9 points. Gale takes it out of the air, caught by O'Brien. I was just feeling a little bit for Garry Lyon then, Terry, because he had to be in 2 contests. He looked a little bit tired. Those legs, when you haven't been playing for quite a while, it's hard to butter up for 2 hard contests.
I'm sure Coach Greg Hutchison hasn't got the option of throwing him out to half forward.
So a chance for Melbourne. 35 metres out from their goal. Lee Newton got the tap, tape, kicks the ball off the ground. Gaspar has been pretty good. Kicks the ball back towards the centre wing position. Gaspar was a high flyer. Lioncelli gets it back to McDonald, who goes short and finds Jimmy Stein. So on the centre wing, Jimmy, the Brownlow medalist, 3 times their best and fairest, gets the ball up. The high flyer was taped, caught, driven to the ground by Uze. They'll get a ball up on 50.
Nine points the margin. In Melbourne's attacking zone, they've kicked the opening goal of the quarter. They get another one. They're right back in business. Unable to keep it in play there is Jeff Farmer. He's kicked 2, 1 in each quarter. Todd Viney kicked the first 2 for new coach Greg Hutchison. You can see there. David Schwartz on the left behind him, and Matt Rendell, former Lyon big man. Here's Sean Charles. Danger, 70 metres out. Hooks it back in towards the pocket. Richmond have the numbers, but they run out of room. Paul Bullis is having a good game. 9 kicks, 6 marks, 6 hand passes to Paul. In Melbourne's left forward pocket. A goal here, and the margin favouring Richmond would be just 3 points. Gaspar towards the line. O'Brien there with him, Darren O'Brien. And Richmond, remember, of course, in 14th position on the ladder with 4 wins and 5 losses. So this game is just as important for them, especially when you consider they've got Collingwood on the rebound here at the MCG next week. Look at the strength of Todd Viney. Round the body he goes, into half forward. They need a mark. Charles was there. He couldn't take it. His opposing number 1, Michael Gale, could have been legged. No, said the umpire. Play on. And they do. Richmond will get out of trouble. Broderick on the end of the hand pass. He's hassled. He loses the football. Trying in there is Andrew Leoncelli. They lock it up, and there'll be another bounce.
Some desperate play there by the forwards of Melbourne.
And that's always a good sign, is that when your forwards are battling and working as hard as you would expect your back line to do.
Tigers by 9 points. Gale in the ruck. Charles is at centre half forward. Gale overruns the ball. Callaway kicked off the ground by Clarkson. He's booted a couple of goals as well, including one miracle goal in the second term. The ball tumbles over the line.
Yeah, that was a surprise move. Clarkson coming off the ground during that second quarter. He had been a very good player, kicked a couple of goals, as we just mentioned, and as we saw then, a kick off the ground, landing in the field of play. Luck is with him also.
He's had it 9 times so far. Obst over the back of the pack. Kicks down towards Garry Lyon, but fun with that great pace has gone. He's off and running.
What would Barney be doing now?
He probably did the right thing the first time. Off he went, but then to check himself, and Hutchie straight onto the phone with it. Perhaps not with the flair that Barney would have shown, but just equally as concerned, I'm sure.
Here's Bond in the back pocket. Well, opportunity going begging there. Nonetheless, play goes on. We'll get another chance. Obbs will send it back towards Farmer. Back into that forward line. Can he make amends? He's in front of the pack. Didn't get a chance for a sniff of it there. Gaspar couldn't either. Lyon comes in over the top. Charles is there. We'll have a bounce. There's Farmer. Takes the mark, and then he's pumped. He runs into a brick wall in the form of Chesty Bond. But he's an excitement machine, isn't he? When he's going, he enjoyed that goal at the other end of the ground in the first half. Almost a throw, and that is bent back. Not good enough for Phoebe for a goal, just 1 behind to Stephen, who, for those people who've joined us late, replaced his brother Matthew. Either that or Matthew's wearing Stephen's jumper. We don't know because they're twins, identical twins. Here's Scott Turner. Pinpoint accuracy. It's okay. Finds Funk, who gets it on towards Gaspar. Darren Gaspar on the outer side goes into half forward, but straight onto the chest of Damien Gaspar.
To kick it home, the two boys.
Well, he's had a good first half, Damien, too, hasn't he? He gets it across to Todd Viney, who's got Hopgood wider and should use him. He does. He wants to go. And he can too. Up towards the centre wing area. This is a positive attack. Here's O'Brien into the centre. Now Lyon off to Steins, and McDonald off to Steins to half forward. Charles takes the mark. In game number 35, he comes into this game with 9 goals, 4 on the board for the season. And Sean Charles should make the distance here. He can cut the margin to just a couple of points.
I just thought Melbourne were heading the wrong way then. They were forcing all their players in turn onto their left foot. But Steins really had the talent to be able to use his left foot well and found Charles with an excellent kick.
So here he comes. Kicking for his first for the night. But more important, to keep Melbourne well and truly in touch. It's a long kick. It's going to be close. He's done it again. Well, the question is, did it go over the line? And was it touched? No. Farmer's going to take the kick.
And why can't he play on there? I mean, the umpire.
That's an interesting question.
There is no way the umpire could have blown time on in that time between Jeff Farmer taking the mark, taking 2 steps and kicking the goal.
Well, I thought the umpires were spoken to this week. We're going to see a lot more whistle. I think we're seeing less.
Yep.
Now, Garry Lyon is going to have a word, I think, to Jeff Farmer, just to settle him down a little bit.
Don't do anything rash.
Just run up and kick it through the big sticks. That's all we need, son.
Remember that handball?
Try not to dodge anyone on the mark.
Oh, dear.
Good boy.
He's done it. He's done it.
He's great, isn't he?
So Jeff Farmer gets his 3rd, but more importantly, Melbourne are within 2 points.
This has been an excellent quarter for Melbourne. They've come out at the crucial break, the half-time break, and they've really taken it up to the Tigers' side. They've been very committed in at the ball. They've been able to get it in their forward line. There's been a little bit of magic being shown by Sean Charles and by Jeff Farmer, as well as Garry Lyon.
So Melbourne within 2 points. Maybe a big upset here tonight at the MCG. Ops has been good in this 3rd term. He's won a couple of hard balls. Tumbles the ball back towards the half-forward line. Here he is. Mr. Magic. He's got it again. Farmer. He's brought Melbourne to life. Back to Phoebe. He's going to be run down. He's got plenty of support to O'Brien. Caught. Great tackle. It's a loose ball. Kicked off the ground by Campbell. Ricochets off Charles. Lucks of fortune for Melbourne. Back to Phoebe. Kicks back towards Newton. Met it on the half volley. That's good play. Couldn't quite get his boot to the ball. Hands and knees. Prescott on hands and knees. Look at Newton, the youngster from Ballarat. Forces the ball forward. Clarkson's taken the ground. Slaps the ball on. Taken the ground also is Pyman. Kicked off the ground by O'Brien. It's inside 50. Over the top's Callaway. Ball up to the ground. Bond. Take the ground. Farmer. It's going to run into the open goal. Melbourne's going to hit the front. 4 goals to Farmer.
Take a deep breath, KB.
Because the D's have got their nose back in front. Very, very good. They had the lead at various stages through the first quarter when the game went goal for goal, and now they've kicked it. They're the only 3 goals of this 3rd quarter, and it's been the small players that have been involved. Farmer, Charles has been instrumental in quite a few of the plays forward. They've really got their tails up now.
What a transformation as Melbourne hits back hard here at the MCG. Can they get it out of the middle once again? It comes towards Phoebe. He leaves it for a teammate. It's a high kick. Doesn't gather a lot of distance. And underneath it is Duncan Kellaway. Richmond looking desperately for a steadier. They go down towards left half forward. Play on. Charles is ridden into the ground. Can't take it cleanly. Michael Gale soccers. Only goes 4 or 5 metres. And Robert Powell gets ridden into the pickets.
It's a danger time for the Tigers. They a very good confidence building win against West Coast Eagles here, but then ran out of legs on the larger Waverley ground last week. Will be tested now in the 2nd half.
Just in their attacking zone at Richmond. Lyon kicks towards centre wing. Farmer got a bad bounce, and Todd Viney is taken over for the line.
It's been interesting watching Greg Hutchison from ground level as Melbourne's hit the front. He hasn't got excited, no histrionics from him. He's had his runner out to basically all the players, just geeing them up, keeping them positive. He's very much in that style of coach. He hasn't got the cattle to make too many moves, so he's just making sure he can get the best out of what he's got.
Newton doing the ruck work, got a hand to it, and does it well, gets the hand pass away. There's the big youngster. Viney goes towards Steins, a fumble, but a nice throw out towards McDonald. They go in towards half forward. Another one here to Lyon or Farmer, and Richmond are really under the pump. Here's Gaspar defending on the outer side. Gets the hand pass away to Campbell, back to Gaspar. Richmond out of trouble for the moment. Maybe not for long, as Prescott is claimed. So too is Gaspar. The cry of ball goes up. Now the Melbourne fans are coming out of the woodwork as the Demons are pumped.
Supporters are taking photograph of the scoreboard too, Sandy.
Oh,
it's a long time since they've seen their side in front.
In fact, some are saying blow the final siren. No, you're being a bit harsh, KB.
It's only a joke.
Well, shows it could commemorate Bob Hope's birthday, couldn't it? He's 94. Here's Jim Steins.
Tackling them was just fantastic from Melbourne. Second and third efforts all the time.
Towards Newton. In front, and the youngster marks. Back he goes. 60 metres out. In towards Lyon, Turner and co. Who's at the back? Farmer's there, but it's Turner who concedes a behind. A little frustrated too as the birthday boy.
Yeah, I think he's just feeling he's lacking a bit of support at ground level from his defenders, because once again Jeff Farmer was sweating on the ball over the back.
Melbourne by 5 points. Tigers haven't kicked a score so far in this third term. Been marked by Funk, gives it across to Campbell. Kicks the ball long down towards the true centre half forward position. No one home for the Tigers. Needing a bounce is McDonald. Gets in front of Nichols. And he travels a few metres. Bullis gives it to Nichols. Trent Nichols in the pocket. He's booted three on his favourite left boot around the corner.
Yes.
That's a great kick. It's kick four.
Well, Melbourne really doing all the work right throughout and getting themselves to a stage where they hit the front by 4 points. And then the one move that Richmond make in this particular quarter ends up with this man, Trent Nichols, and he is really on fire. The way he was able to step around there, hemmed in on his hard left, come back onto the left foot, drag it back in.
There's the Demon bench, but there's been changes on the Tiger lineup. Naish is on, and Broderick is off. 1 point is the margin. Richmond leads. A thriller here at the MCG, when many thought it would be a whitewash, a belting, but it's not to be at the moment. Clarkson the run, couldn't get it cleanly out of the centre. He's got support, however. They look down towards full forward, towards Garry Lyon. Turner's there with him. He needs help. Look at Lyon. Leading by example is the skipper, and Farmer's there as well. At half forward for Melbourne. Kieran Nichols is the umpire, wearing 20. Interesting to hear that Leon Daphne wants them to lose their numbers. Wayne Campbell has locked, and then the ball spilled free. Only for a moment.
Sandy, Robert Walls is coaching, well, nearly a milestone game. This is his 599th game of AFL/VFL football after playing 259 himself. He'd really be feeling the pressure just at the moment.
Evans on for Richmond too. He most certainly would. As Melbourne have done all the attacking so far in this quarter, and they continue to do it now as Phoebe takes the hand pass from Robert Pyman, and Phoebe's kick goes down towards the right half forward. Bullis is standing firm.
In response to Richmond's problem with their goal kicking at the moment, Brendan Gale has been replaced by Brett Evans. The guy from Springvale has gone down alongside Richardson, but also moving up towards the centre forward position.
On centre wing, Pyman tries to storm his way through. Viney held it for a long time. This time he's been pinged. Daffy, the duck, to take it on the defensive side of centre wing. We'll look towards the boy that's just come on. Was in front, couldn't take the mark. That being Brett Evans. Just his second game.
Has a reputation to be able to take a mark too, Brett Evans.
Richmond by a point. Melbourne look as though they're going to make a change too. It's a Melbourne free kick here. It's going to go the way of Steins after the ruck infringement. Certainly some feeling in this game now. Michael Gale in front of the pack, runs the boundary line, then floats it high. He ran too wide on the boundary line, says the boundary umpire a little belatedly.
Problem with Jeff Farmer's ankle at the moment. They're just checking him, taking his boot off, maybe a re-strapping, maybe some ice, maybe some spray, but hopefully for Melbourne he can come back on, but we'll keep you updated.
59 plays 58. The Tigers by a point. Jimmy Steins versus Charles. Centre wing position. Gale thumps the ball back to the front edge of the centre square. Great mark by Uza. To McDonald. So the Demons on the burst. Here's Charles with great pace out in front. Gaspar has got the run of the ball. It's been very good. Plenty of support from Bond. So he belts the ball inside 50. Richardson's the target. Nearly had it, lost it. Caught high, no free kick. McDonald. They've paid advantage. It comes way to love it. Kicks wide. Got the loose player, Woewodin, just off the interchange bench. Charles once more is the target. Callaway's got the sit. So at half-back, Sean Charles just shakes his head. Too much carry on the ball as Callaway pumps it back. Gaspar punches from behind. Viney had it, lost it, shoveled it out. Campbell, quick kick around the corner. Nichols has already booted 4. Powell's booted 2. Lively at ground level. Back to Daffy on 50. Kicks long. Ingerson marks in front of Richardson.
5 3/4 minutes left in this term. And it's all set up for a desperate last quarter here at the MCG. Gaspar. Pryor ball goes out again, but he eventually gets it over to Hopgood, who goes to the outer side, up towards centre wing. Courage needed. Oh, a big youngster there in Lee Newton, wearing 14. O'Brien also for Melbourne, and trouble there for Richmond with Burke. Right shoulder, right arm. He's winged at the moment. The boundary riders, I'm sure, will check him out. Appears to be the shoulder, though. Steins dribbles it out the back. Gaspar's kick ricochets to the other side, and it allows Richmond to go up towards the 50-metre line, but only as far as McDonald. Off to Lovett. He swings it down the middle. Bond plays close attention to Clarkson, but the latter has it. He's at half-back, goes over the centre. Bullis got front spot, but it was fisted away by Newton. This is Darren Gaspar, off to Kellaway. Kellaway spirals a kick towards the centre wing. Clarkson at the second attempt takes the grab.
So Richmond would be in real trouble this quarter if it wasn't for Callaway and for the other players across half-back.
Gaspar and Bullis.
Gaspar, that's the one. They've only had 27 disposals, Richmond, compared to now 65 to Melbourne in this quarter.
Yes. The door has opened for Melbourne. Uze is there. He needs help, however. Heading towards the boundary line is Funk. Now Prescott runs out of room. And down behind play is Shane Woewodin. May have caught one. In the meantime, play goes on. Charles had front spot. Here's Lyon, a long way from home. Centering kick. He wants Charles. Little too far underneath it. Kellaway, his immediate opponent, responds, and they defend. Coming towards Michael Gale. He takes it on centre wing, and Michael Gale's away. The Tigers need something. He sneaks away from Phoebe, goes down towards his brother Viney, but he's beaten by Gaspar. Comes back towards centre wing, towards Phoebe, who was 5 metres from Michael Gale after that run. Phoebe floats one towards Pyman over the top. He gets an awful bounce. So too does Daffy. He controls it just for a moment. He needs help. Tape is taken high. A cry of ball again. And things are hotting up here at the MCG.
Especially in front of the Melbourne members here, it's unbelievable. They're going absolutely burlesque at that decision because there was an arm over someone's shoulder. They're calling for holding the ball. But on the other hand, David Burke's being spoken to at the moment by the Richmond physio. no application of ice or anything like that, so I'm not too sure. He's had this injury probably over the last 4 or 5 weeks. A lot of problems with it, but he seems to be okay. No ice, no strapping, so he may be okay.
Nettelbeck takes the free kick, half-forward line for Melbourne. They trail by a point. So he's taking his time. Players are getting back, crowding it up.
There's a 50-metre penalty.
50-metre penalty?
Yep.
What for, Terry?
What? Absolutely no idea. Didn't see it. All I could see was the umpire heading back off to call it up.
Well, this is a big play for Melbourne. Nettelbeck's just kicked the 2
There's a bit going on here with Justin Charles too. Justin Charles just had his number taken there. Kieran Nichols taking Justin's number. I'm not sure what it was for.
Nettelbeck is on the ground. Newton has just gone off. They've been interchanging their centre-half forwards right through this game, and Nettelbeck will put Melbourne in front by 5 points, and he's kicked it.
So Clarkson has also had his number taken there. A bit of a clash between the two in the lead up to this particular shot at goal there from Nettelbeck. But a good goal, and actually it's good to see one of the big blokes getting a goal, because tonight really has belonged in the forward line to all the smalls. They've been the goal scorers, but now Nettelbeck gets his bit in.
Some byplay there between Bullis and Nettelbeck. The Demons have kicked 4-2 this quarter to the Tigers' 1 goal. Viney tough in the clinches, tumbles the ball forward, taken by Tate, rockets the ball back inside 50. McDonald showed courage in front. Nichols at ground level, the danger man, and he's got a free kick. Well, he's been a dead-eyed dick tonight.
The report against Justin Charles, I'm sure it was for headbutting Alastair Clarkson. Alastair Clarkson was baiting Charles as he was running back for giving that 50, and he just dropped his little head into Clarkson's face. So I think the umpire might have taken his number for that.
Well, Nichols right on 50. This is going to get the distance. He's kicked 5.
Well, 5 goals is not a bad return in anyone's language, particularly in a night game when the conditions are not quite as conducive to ball control as the normal day conditions. But Nichols' effort's been very good.
What was the free kick for? It's for nothing. There was no free kick there.
I'm lost for words there, my friend.
Seesawing struggle continues here at the MCG. Out of the middle as time ticks away. O'Brien rips Melbourne down to the forward line. An aching Garry Lyon charges for the ball. Scott Turner's right on his hammer. Bond is there to help Turner. Clarkson to help his captain. Gets the hand pass out. They go in towards Woewodin over the back. And it's Bullis again. He runs into trouble. He loses it. It's shot off the ground for a goal, I think. It is a goal. It's got to be. Kicks Melbourne's 11th, and it's a 5-point ball game.
Well, what a tragedy here. Bullis tries to come back against the flow of the play. You can see Justin Charles there voicing him, encouraging him, and all of a sudden Bullis comes back the other way when Charles was looking to do the shepherding on Nettelbeck. They all get tangled up, the ball spills free, and here comes Woewodin's foot in and over the line.
Don't think Bullis wasn't taken high at some stage, right there. Right on the shoulder. Play goes on out of the centre. It's Todd Viney. Melbourne, it's all one-way traffic at the moment. Down towards Garry Lyon. He's got it, the skipper. He twists and he turns. He kicks in towards goal. Now, which way is it going to bounce? Can it bounce through? It bounces high. It bounces through. It's a goal. No, it's not. It's touched. Oh, we're getting too carried away here. One behind.
It was a juggling act. I think Jasper put his hand out and the ball just rolled up his arm over the line.
Gaz is puffed after that effort. Now have a look at this.
It just rolls up Gasper's arm. There it goes.
Oh,
and
a good
that's
save.
what got it over.
Gee. Well, the umpire was in the right spot, so one behind KB.
So the Melbourne side have come back in this third term. They lead by
He's
a goal.
gone over the mark.
And he's gone over the mark. So So there'll be a ball up, so a big chance here for Melbourne, and look at Garry Lyon just pointing it out, saying, yep, there it was.
It's like a no ball. Clearly.
It's like a no ball in cricket, wasn't it? There it is, right there.
Bad luck, fellow. I'd like to support you, but you did go over the line.
It made great to see that print.
I mean, Richmond just got to go the big thump here.
So a chance for Melbourne. Bullis tried to knock the ball through. Lyon traps it right on the line. So we've got a ball up.
We've also got a big last quarter, KB, coming up.
71 plays 65. Melbourne in front. Who would have thought? As the time ticks away in this third term, a goal here would make it very, very interesting. Bullis tried to slap it through once more. This time he's got a minor score.
He needed a bit more elevation in that spoil, because it really comes straight back down to ground level. Lyon was there, a real chance to be able to snare one, but it just rebounded off the bodies through for the behind.
7 points the margin. How far inside do you think Scott Turner will kick this one?
It's amazing. The rule is the contact has to be inside the line, and there's no way even that one was.
Jeez, no. Very, very close. There's a big pack of players on that outer side. Time's ticking away for Richmond. They desperately need a goal to steady things down. Melbourne, on the other hand, would love another one. Marcus Seacamp is over the line.
John Russo explained several weeks ago, Terry, that what the umpires do, even though that's the rule, as long as 1 foot is inside the square, then they deem that as being okay.
So they've made up their own set of rules, have they? For that?
They just thought it was too hard to judge the other one.
Here's Campbell's kick in towards half forward, but in the way is Damien Gaspar. He's been a very good player for the Melbourne Football Club tonight. It's three-quarter time, and the Melbourne members are standing as one. Well, the game's not over yet, but they are delighted with that performance in the third quarter, because the Demons have hit back hard and are certainly in line for a major upset. Robert Walls is going to have to pull something out of the hat here. Garry Lyon kicked his first goal for the night in that term, and down come the Demon boys. Greg Hutchison could be very proud of that quarter, because they certainly did storm back in, down 15 points at half-time and desperately needing the first goal. Well, they did more than that. They have hit back very hard, and at three-quarter time they lead. It is 11-6 to 9-11 as Robert Walls shows some frustration to young Justin Charles. Here we go, final term, Saturday night football on 7 Sport. Charles floats high with Steins. Neither gets it. The first goal critical. Viney has been very, very good. He gives it off to Phoebe. Phoebe goes long and low towards Lyon. Turner's there with him. They both strangle each other almost in their attempt to get the footy, and it's taken over the line. That's Woewodin. And Garry Lyon says, my head, he had my head.
Well, Garry Lyon was lucky. He held the arm and actually pulled it across trying to get the free kick. So the unfortunate one in that circumstance definitely was Turner.
Right there, as you can see him holding it with the left hand. However, from the throw-in, it's Clarkson. Oh, somehow he gets clear. Puts it onto the left foot, pumps it in towards full forward. 1, 2 grabs, not enough. Tape is claimed. It's socket off the ground and behind conceded.
Doesn't put pressure on opposition defences when a player does the right thing from the boundary line and kicks to the top of the square. Rather than going for the goal himself, put it to the top of the square where your players in the air have got a chance and the Rovers have got something definite to work off.
Turner. Surrounded by Richmond fans at that end of the ground. Now gets the call from the umpire to go. Gee. We're desperately close to going over the mark again. It comes to Michael Gale. He tumbles it towards a centre wing. Powell took a punt and waited behind. And in front, but running out of room, was Andrew Lioncelli. Just his 16th game, Lioncelli. Player of the future. From the Melbourne bench, we go to the throw-in on centre wing. Charles has front spot. Again, it's Viney doing good, strong work. Phoebe pokes it out in front, but then loses the pace race to Michael Gale. Slung as he kicks back towards centre wing. And another throw.
Todd Viney has been very good tonight. 23 possessions and 4 marks. See Michael Gale on screen. They've been tough possessions. He's been in the clinches.
And he got them going right at the start too.
The opening 2 goals. Charles, we've been told, has Got to run with Jimmy Steins in this final term. Campbell wanting the free kick. And there's Viney, last man up off the ground.
And Charles had that job at Steins early in the game, and I thought he was doing it quite well, but they decided to break that in order to get something going at centre-half forward, and Steins really came into the game. So it's a hard job now for Charles to try and rein Steins in.
So Steins with that short kick, goes down towards Pyman, goes to ground. Gaspar wants the free, will get another ball up. Edge of the centre square. So David Burke there with Chrissy Nash and also Brett Evans, interchange bench for the Tigers. Looks like David Burke went off with a shoulder injury. So on the edge of the centre square, Charles gets his hands to the ball. Phoebe has it smothered. Here's Charles for Melbourne. Sean Charles, hands and knees. It's tough. The stakes are high. Richmond are in 14th spot. They play Collingwood next week. Melbourne's coming off a week of drama with their coach Neil Baum being sacked and surprising everyone by leading by 8 points into this final quarter.
Melbourne has Adelaide next week at this ground, the MCG. Steins held it for a long time, but then got the hand pass out. It's okay. Phoebe's kick in towards the forward line, picked up on the half volley by Tape. He goes over towards Bauer, who runs out of room. Back towards Phoebe territory again. No. So a testing time for the Tigers right now. Down by 8 points. Talk about the character of a club being tested. There's no doubt Melbourne's is, but so too are Richmond's. Viney is emerging as one of the best on the ground. Bauer takes a timely mark on half-back. The Tigers down, but not out yet. Broderick comes away to Turner. Sneaks away from Garry Lyon. Kicks towards centre wing, towards Richardson. One grab, then taken out of it. Will go again, Richo. Ingerson hot on his hammer. Good persistence by Ingerson as he tumbles the ball forward. Gains 7 or 8 metres before it'll be thrown in again. Free kicks tonight. There's been 22 given out, 11 to each side, so they haven't gone whistle-blowing happy by any stretch of the imagination. Viney at the back. Hurried hand pass towards Nettelbeck. Put his teammate under pressure because Gaspar is there. Almost threw it out to Bauer. And in fact, it's been cited as a throw. Yes. It was by the umpire waiting at the back, not the controlling umpire at the time. So the ball is with Darren O'Brien. He can put them inside 50. Charles is the one they want to take a mark, but he can't. And Kellaway comes away for the Tigers. Daffy's in the middle of the ground. He can run here if he wants to the duck. Well, he should have flown, but he didn't. Went back and popped it up in towards Richardson at half forward. 1, 2, 3 grabs. He's got it.
O'Brien for Melbourne should have kicked the ball into the goal square. It was a poor option to Charles, a small player, leading across into a contest. Now we see the ball on the rebound and Matthew Richardson taking the mark.
He's going to be kicking from 55. His solitary goal to date came in the first quarter, but an important kick for Matthew and the Tigers. Directly in front. He lets go with a drop putt. It's high. It may not make the distance. It doesn't. Held it over the back. Close the gap by a point.
But Melbourne still continue to win possessions through the middle of the ground. In the third quarter, Melbourne racked up 80 disposals compared to Richmond just 32. And they've started again in that trend. They're leading by half a dozen in this early stage of this quarter already.
So the Demons still by 7 points. That was the margin at three-quarter time. Hopgood to bring the ball back. So a big job playing on Daffy. Kicks the ball. Looking for Phoebe. Viney's just been great. From the very first opening bounce, he's been a wonderful player for Melbourne. Kicks to space. It's a good kick. He just needs a kind bounce with Charles. Didn't get it. Kellaway thumps the ball over the line.
That's good to see. Just a bit of acknowledgement of teammates' efforts there from Sean Charles, acknowledging the effort of Viney up the ground, who broke away from half-back.
Throwing on centre wing, Nettelbeck to Pyman. So he kicks back towards the half-forward line, playing in front. Good mark. That's Woewodin. He kicked a goal in the third quarter. He was benched just before half-time for a bad passage of play. So the youngster from East Fremantle has come back. A high ball, pushing and shoving. Turner versus Lyon. Bauer has pounced on it. Comes away. He's kicks to a one-on-one contest. Richardson out in front. Ingerson. Scott Prescott the beat. Richardson caught by Ingerson. A great tackle. That was desperate play by Ingerson. And we've got a ball up.
Yeah, the numbers were against him, weren't they? And he continued to work and met Richardson on there. Very, very hard front on. Great work.
14 minutes of desperate football left. Melbourne vainly trying to hang on. Broderick pops one over the back. No one at home. Picked up by Uze. He goes towards the 50 line once more. Charles is there. Gasper and Broderick for Richmond. Kellaway also goes onto the left foot. Tumbles it up towards centre wing. Richardson behind. Powell in the front. Viney there. Possession number 27 to Obbs. To Stein. Kick partly smothered. Oh, it's fantastic. It's just pure, desperate, hard football. The way it should be. Clarkson on centre wing can go short, and he does. He finds Uze. Down goes Steins. Can Big Jim get there in time? He lumbers towards the ball, and it goes out of bounds for a throw-in.
Actually, I'm very disappointed with the Melbourne players. I mean, it's a case of the king is dead, long live the king. That why, in heaven's name, didn't they put up performances like this in the weeks leading up to Neil Baum's sacking? There is no way that a change of coach at this stage has changed anything. It's just that these players have all of a sudden decided to do something about it, and I think it's a time that they can hang their head in disgrace.
So a bounce on centre wing. Locked between two is Robert Pyman. Another bounce.
It's a very frustrated Garry Lyon who's watching this work upfield. Every time he goes near the ball now, it's taking him so much longer to recover. That back is sore, and he's been outstrengthed by Scotty Turner. That's disappointing him, but he'll be in there having a go, I've no doubt.
Steins wins it. Broderick tries to tap it. Only as far as Pyman. Charles goes, and he goes, and he goes. In towards half forward. Lyon's got to stretch that back now because he's down there with Turner. It's flicked in towards goal. Look at this bounce!
Kick.
Oh, what the goal! Woewodin! Woewodin! 2 goals to Shane Woewodin. And Melbourne fans delirious. The sight you have not seen. Well, maybe you saw it slightly in round 1 when they upset the reigning champs.
I mean, they're really showing that they have got talent as a team and as individuals. And Woewodin, they're getting into the right spot. They're being hard and aggressive at the ball. Again, Garry Lyon paving the way. And if you're a sponsor of the Melbourne Football Club, who would want to be with ice packs here tonight for Lyon.
That was a great goal by Woewodin. So the youngsters bounced back. 2 very important goals, one in the third quarter. Now that one in this final term. Bonder's off for Richmond. He's been replaced by Naish. So Charles beaten by Steins. And the Demons keep up the momentum. It's forced forward up towards the half-forward line. Nettelbeck flicks the muscles, blew up the biceps, comes out towards Gaspar. Taken by Funk. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Ingerson went out to meet it, couldn't take it. Does well. Back to Uze. To the half-forward line, it tumbles. Here's a chance. They've got the numbers. Viney on the burst. Strength. Gets around on 50. Goes to ground. Bounces up like the Indian rubber man. Gives it back to Clarkson. Bombs it up towards Garry Lyon's in front. Punched it behind by Turner at ground level. Broderick's been caught by Obst. Melbourne have gone up 25 Colts. Not 1, 25. Campbell comes away. Runs through the centre square. Hand passes to Nichols. He's been the star with 5. He's caught. It's a loose ball. Pyman, tackled by Nichols. Charles lends support. O'Brien desperate in the clinches as well. Fantastic stuff, and a free kick to Melbourne.
Yeah, the last man in there, Robbie Powell, diving over the top of the pack. Conceded the free kick.
25 cogs, KB. Here's Phoebe.
It's a full wheel.
The cheerio to the Indian rubber man as we go down to the half-forward line, but only as far as Kellaway. He goes to the outer side. These are desperate times now for the Tigers. Michael Gale looks down towards centre wing. They badly need a goal. Powell's going to get a free kick. Taken high. He's kicked 2, both in the second quarter. One was an absolute gem too. To half forward it goes. There's some holding on going there. He says umpire Sam Cronje. It goes against Nichols and it's going to go to Melbourne. Adem is going to take it. He goes short. Things just starting to fit into place now for Melbourne. 79 plays 66 in effect. Richmond have got to get 3 goals to regain the lead. And with players taking grabs like that, Nettelbeck, it's not going to be easy. He looks down towards Lyon. There's one out at full forward. Lyon wants it at the back. Turner's in front of him. He goes long. That's what Lyon wanted. It's a torp. He drops back on it now. Turner is there with him. Lyon's in pain as he gives away a free kick, and it goes to the birthday boy.
Garry Lyon can't run, Terry.
No.
He can't lead. He can just push and shove with his body. He's just out there for inspirational purposes.
And I think they should leave him there, but just get someone in a little bit closer. Charles or Farmer could come in and just prop there with him as well.
Well, it is inspiring. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
Mark taken by Funk, coming from Campbell.
Just a bit of a feeling down on the boundary, a little bit of panic happening on the Richmond bench, but also it's prominent in the forward line, the scragging of the Richmond forwards and giving away free kicks. Not a good sign for the Tigers.
Fine mark by Obston. He gives it to Charles and away goes one of the Demon racehorses. Down towards the forward line once again. The bounce is all important. Tate sees it towards the line. He'll be happy to see it over. But the work by Lyon shouldn't go unmentioned. Here's Prescott now. He takes it at half-back. Kicks towards centre wing. Melbourne have the numbers. They've also given away a free kick, but there's been no whistle. So Richardson plays on. He's got to beat 3. He's lost the pass, but on he goes. Gives the hand pass out. It goes straight towards Uze. Uze back to centre wing. Over the head of Jim Stynes. Nettelbeck should be first there for Melbourne. He is. Somehow he gets clear. Gets rid of the ball towards Woewodin. He's done it once as Woe. He goes again, Woewodin. And he goes across the face and whoa. It's one behind.
Well, just seemingly the umpires have put the whistle away a little bit. Robert Wall's looking on quite concerned. I'm sure his side's really under pressure. Umpires allowing him to go just in the final stages, which I think's good.
So Callaway had 3 to beat. Comes to Uze. Goes short. Scrubby old kick. They need a bounce. Viney couldn't get one. Broderick with those quick hands gives it across to Campbell. Comes away from half back. Kicks a long bomb. Playing in front was that Seacamp's mark, not paid. McDonald tunnel balls it back. Desperate on hands and knees. Gets the ball across to Lyon. The half back line standing up for Melbourne. Ops rockets the ball out wide to Woewodin. He finds Uze. He's on 50. He can have his pot shot at goals. He runs in on this left boot. He curls it back. He's kicked a goal. Melbourne lead by 14 points. Make that 20 now. Sensational scenes here at the MCG. Under 8 minutes of action left. And Woewodin has been a star in this final term. Set it up to Uze, Terry.
He did. Look, he started so well, Woewodin. He was in the first quarter. He was a catalyst in amongst it. Now he continues on. He's let himself down a couple of times there with that left foot, but that was a good one. Uze on the run settles great.
I heard a whisper. The fat lady started to gargle. Still 8 minutes left. Broderick out of the middle. Richmond now desperately need a goal or 2. Well, they need more than that. They need 4 to have any hope. Incredible. Is that Hop good? Last man up? No, it's not. He's holding his head a little. McDonald just copped one a little high, I think. Look up at the scoreboard, my boy, and you'll feel considerably better. Melbourne 86, Richmond 66. For those of you who may have just joined us on 7 Sport, Michael Gale loses it to his teammate in Naish. Comes towards Broderick. Now from 55 metres, he goes bang with a torp. It's a big torp too, and it should be shepherded through, but it's off target. It's behind.
Surprising when Broderick was taken off the ground there for a spell. He was just so good in the opening half of the game, really setting things up, getting run through the midfield with his creative handball and equally creative kicking, but surprisingly spent time on the interchange bench during the third quarter.
Is Hop good? Again, he'll get the call from the umpire, Sam Cronje, saying your time is up. So he heads to the outer side. Bullis flew, he couldn't take it. Phoebe, the late inclusion for his twin brother. Kicks up towards O'Brien. Clever tap is going to be okay. Comes wide towards Pyman. Under pressure from Broderick. Now the racehorses can do their stuff. Leading is Michael Gale, and he's ridden into the ground by O'Brien. The ball spills over the line. It'll be a throw-in. Michael in his 172nd game. But there's something you haven't heard from the bulk of the season. The Melbourne chant. It's up at the moment as Woewodin does the ruck work. Comes back towards Funk. He's in trouble.
It's a quick tackle by Woewodin.
He's had a good night, hasn't he?
He has. Just a couple of kickoffs from early in the game from the City Road end, where he perhaps slipped just the crucial stage. But 17 kicks, 3 marks and a handball. Very good game.
Shown a lot of character to come back, because I know he was disappointed. He was coming off the ground as the half-time siren sounded, and he took his mouth guard out and went to throw it into the ground and just restrain himself, and now he's come back and kicked a couple of very important goals.
Well, I think, Kevin, we could probably expect that. I mean, he was taken in the pre-season draft just based upon his work ethic over the summer, training with Melbourne, and that's the sort of quality that you need in a side, and he's displayed it here this evening.
Richmond have got 6.5 minutes to get back into this game. You would have to think at the moment that Melbourne are going to register their 2nd win for the season.
Richmond just can't get through half forward. Paul Bullis is playing at centre half forward at the moment, but Damien Gasper from Melbourne doing a very good job across the back.
Phoebe and Clarkson. The Melbourne boys now battling for it. Taken by Clarkson, but only as far as Darren Gasper. 6th mark to Darren. He goes back towards centre wing, a very congested area. O'Brien had front spot. McDonald there also. Melbourne having the players around the ball at the moment. McDonald kicks up towards half forward, towards Nettelbeck, and he's going to get a free kick in opposition to Jamie Tape, who was infringing. Now, this could set the fat lady singing. Directly in front.
It was a good call on the umpire there.
Yeah.
4 kicks, 2 marks, 3 hand passes to Craig Nettelbeck tonight, and a goal in the 3rd quarter. But this is the one that will really get the demon flags flying. Directly in front. Staggering approach, kicking from 51 metres. It's a high drop punt. It's going to be close. The Demons are home. The fat lady's singing. That's it. 2 goals to Nettelbeck. Melbourne 14-8. Richmond 9-13.
Well, this is a quite incredible victory here from the Melbourne Football Club. Won the first match of the season against North Melbourne and really looked as though they were going somewhere. Then went and dropped 8 games and ballied right out completely. Now back in town.
92 plays 67. 5 minutes of action left. Jimmy Steins goes to ground against Gale. So he takes the free kick. Just 4 goal kickers for Richmond tonight, and only 1 over 5'5". So Steins goes wide, finds Lyon. So Melbourne on the burst, confident now. Kicks a long bomb. Lyon comes out in front, tries to control it one hand. Viney. It's just been a wonderful player tonight.
I think you've got the pair of them in there, haven't you? Viney and then Garry Lyon. Viney's just been very, very good. He's been hard at the ball. He's been prepared to chase, harass, tackle, and then when he's got it, he's been able to use it quite well.
So another chance for Melbourne, just 35 metres out from goal. Gale slaps it forward. Gaspar to Callaway. The tackling of Melbourne in the second half has been fantastic. No easy kicks or hand passes to the Richmond players. Bauer kicks a high ball back inside the centre square as a free kick to Phoebe against Staffy. So he is smack bang in the centre of the MCG. Placed his brother tonight, Matthew. Stephen Phoebe out wide. Nettelbeck's got it again. Well, they've struggled at centre half forward for a lot of the game, but in the second half, Nettelbeck has come good. Lee Newton did some nice things as well with his physical size.
Yeah, I mean, Nettelbeck spent time on the bench. There was a bit of a shoulder injury or something there and got some treatment, but certainly he's coming back with a vengeance.
So from 60 metres out, it's going to drop short. Playing in front is Gale.
Come back with a vengeance, but not kicking ability.
Brendan Gale on the last line of defence. 67 plays 92 with only 3 minutes remaining. Turner comes towards half-back, and the mark is taken there by Chris Naish. 1 goal to his credit early in the game, in the first quarter. Naish towards centre wing. Finds Darren Gaspar. He looks down towards the 50. Paul Bullis is there, and he's out-pointed by Damien Gaspar, who's had a good game. 8 kicks, 7 marks, 6 hand passes to Damien. Goes short from Leoncelli. Hopgood goes to the outer side, and it's going to be okay because Ingerson takes the mark. Love it. Melbourne now, a little bit of possession play. They know they've got this game well and truly parcelled up towards centre wing. Tape sits over it. Nettelbeck asks the question. And Sam Cronje gives them very little. He'll have a bounce for the umpire. As the Melbourne chant rings out in the background. Richmond, of course, next week have Collingwood here at this ground. And that's going to be no easy task, particularly Collingwood after a miserable game against Hawthorn. Their scoring was an absolute rarity, especially in the first half. So they'll be pumped up. But in the meantime, Stein has it on the outer side, kicks towards centre wing, and Brendan Gale takes the mark. Quiet night for Brendan. 4 marks, just 3 kicks and a few hand passes. This is Brett Evans, who's been on and off the bench, towards Richardson, who's coming back after that broken arm. He's got to beat a couple. Oh, he's ripped high and he's taken to the ground. Can't take it. A high tackle there on Uze, Terry, by Uze.
Yep.
But play goes on. When it's with you, it's well and truly with you.
So Anthony McDonald has been part of this very good Melbourne defence. They've chased hard, they've tackled hard, they've put a lot of pressure on the forwards of Richmond, which looks star-studded with Richardson down there, and Benny Gale and Justin Charles and Daffy. Nichols, who's been very good with his 5 goals. Nation Powell, but they've done it very well tonight.
With just 2 goals after half-time, both of those in the third, both of those from Nichols. They've really capitulated away the Richmond forward line.
So Steins beaten this time by Gale, but he's done a mighty job. Jimmy Steins, he's taken on Gale and Justin Charles. Bullis, who was outstanding in the first half, a little bit quieter in the second, and Uze has got it. Kicked that great goal in this final term, which to my mind sealed the game. He's had a very good game himself. Showed a lot of promise in 95, disappointing last year, but maybe he can come back to his best. Gaspar. As the siren sounds, so there is a big win for the Melbourne Football Club. A very bad loss to the Richmond Football Club, and you can see the excitement here and the relief from the Melbourne players. It's been a big week. They've been through a lot this year, and there's their skipper Garry Lyon there, Terry, who I reckon that's about as fast as he's run all night.
And Terry, you've got to ask the question, why?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've been in this situation where I was terminated after a couple of games, and the side the next week came out and did quite well. Barmy gets to look at this now. I mean, a commendable effort to every player there from the Melbourne Football Club. I mean, they were tremendous. They rose to the occasion. Greg Hutchison got them out there. He was able to deliver the goods for the Melbourne board. But why that sort of change was needed to get this catalyst, I can never work that out in football.
So Melbourne big winners here. There goes Garry Lyon, Paul Hopgood, Damien Gaspar, and Garry Lyon getting all his charges together an emotional time. Let's go to Mark Doran.
Playing pretty well. It was fantastic.
Greg, the spirit the Melbourne boys have shown tonight, unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it's something that I suppose we've had to work on in the last couple of days, and that's all really we had in the 2 days to work on. Just a bit of spirit and a bit of enthusiasm, and it can sometimes get you over the line.
You've been here all year. Why haven't the boys done this previous?
Oh, look, I don't know. It's just one of those intangible things, very hard to measure. Sometimes you get very despondent with injuries, and things happen that you can't control. And look, I just think they made a commitment to themselves tonight, and it was fantastic the way they responded.
And where to from here from Melbourne then?
I think we play Adelaide next week.
And celebrations tonight?
Oh no, we're going to train in the morning. We're going to keep our feet on the ground and see what happens from here on in.
Thanks, Greg. Enjoy it.
Yes, as the Demon fans go down to their loyal supporters, and loyal they have been. While all that was happening, I was watching Matthew Richardson, a lone figure, walking from the other end of the ground. It was a long trek down to the Tiger Tunnel. And with him, Robert Walls, who will be thinking game number 599 for R. Walls. Will not be a happy memory.
Not at all. I mean, really, the pre-game predictions were that Richmond were to hammer Melbourne in this particular game, and I think that would have been a reasonable expectation from anyone in football. But they haven't been able to do it. Melbourne have risen to the occasion, but from a Richmond perspective, they've really fallen away. Just the 2 goals after half-time, both to Nichols in the 3rd quarter. Their forward line structure really was struggling. Centre bounce, they couldn't quite clear away. Their defence was just under siege from the amount of possessions that Melbourne were winning. And in the end, they really couldn't have too much there other than Nichols' effort with 5 goals. Perhaps Power with his couple. Broderick in the midfield, I thought, worked quite well, but not too much there for the Tigers to hang their hat on.
And I think I mentioned, Terry, during the course of the game, 3 of their players in Nichols, Powell and Naish are very small players, about 5'5", 5'6". And the only other kicker guy was Matthew Richardson. It looks a star-studded goal kicking with Matthew, and also Benny Gales and Justin Charles and Nick Daffy's down there. But I thought the Melbourne defence did it well tonight. Ingerson did a good job. Gaspar did a very good job as well. They stuck to their guns. And in the end, they were so desperate in that 3rd term. I think most of us felt after half-time, when Richmond led by 15 points, that if they could kick 2 or 3 quick goals, then Melbourne would just fall away and say, look, we put in a terrific first half, but unfortunately, we just didn't have the personnel. But then they came out and they hit Richmond hard with those first couple of quick goals, and then the momentum continued.
Terry, the presence of Garry Lyon just being out on the ground, what's it worth to Melbourne?
An unassessable amount, Sandy. I mean, his presence there tonight in the rooms, I'm sure, in the rooms at halftime, in the rooms now, would have been just absolutely unbelievable. He led them tremendously like to there. Let's just hope that tonight's appearance hasn't hampered his injury to any great degree.
He couldn't run, could he?
He couldn't run, and whether there's long-term ramifications to that, well, only Garry and the medical staff can deal with that now.
It was a mighty effort to be there, and just a bit of pushing and shoving on his behalf. Got a couple of goals with guys, swooping in and getting crumbs. And I remember Clarkson kicking an important goal in that 2nd term.
So if you've just joined us, the scoreboard is not wrong. Here it is, the final score from the MCG. Melbourne a 14-8-92, Richmond a 9-13, and the Demon boys are delirious.
This has been a